Hi, I'm Emma Hill, and I'm here today to talk to our two wonderful artists, Sharon Adebisi and Diane Ewen, who are creating our prizes this year, or Jhalak Prize 2023. Hello to you both.
Hi.
Hello.
So let's talk a little bit, just get a little bit warmed up and talk a little bit about your work, first of all. So Sharon, I'm going to come to you first. Just tell us a little bit about your work in general.
Oh, in general. So I guess my work is like a journal. I'm someone who likes to self-reflect. So my paintings are just a journal of my life experiences. With a lot of them, they do hone into like my culture, my identity. In a lot of my paintings, you'll see Black figures with like African attire as I try and explore that side of my identity. But yeah, I think my work is just more like just a journal of my life, if I'm being honest.
Great, thank you. And Diane, over to you. Just give us a background to your work.
Well, I'm a children's book illustrator, so everything I do is geared mainly to children. So you'll find in every piece of work that I do, you'll have a Black child, hopefully, within that. Obviously, I want to push that as much as I can within the publishing world. So, as I say, my general area is children's book illustration. I just do books for anybody that asks, really.
Great, thank you. I'm going to move on a little bit now and just talk in a bit of detail about the work that you've both created for the Jhalak Prize. Sharon, I'm going to come to you first. So tell us a little bit about the work you created and what it represents.
Okay, so this piece, I'll probably hold it up actually.
Yeah.
So I haven't finished it yet, but it's called Blessed. And the reason why I created it was because at the time that I sort of was commissioned to do this, I wasn't really going through a great time, but I knew where I wanted to be. And as I said, my work is like a journal of my experiences. I don't think I even said before, I'm a painter. I use acrylic on canvas paints. And I just wanted to paint a picture of where I want to be in the future, so that by the time I finish the painting, I can look back and be like, oh, am I here now? Am I at a better place than when I started this journey? So that's why it's called Blessed, just to kind of like represent that where I'm heading towards. And I feel like slowly I'm getting to that level. You can see the lady there, it's meant to represent myself, with some watermelon juice, which will be painted in there. Just like, enjoying life, like looking glamorous, feeling good. And I just feel like if I kind of paint that, I will feel that, in due time. So that's the meaning behind this painting.
Oh, I was going to ask you if it was a self-portrait, and
Yes.
It is. So did you say it's acrylic on canvas?
Yep.
Right. Okay. How did you go about kind of like generating the idea, and what influences did you pull on to come up with it?
Oh, a really good question. I guess because at the time that I created it, I was kind of like just at home all the time. I wasn't really doing much. Like I was just kind of just not really, I was like a homebody, and I wanted to create a piece that kind of showed me outside of that shell, showed me sort of living life, being somewhere out. Normally I do like going to like cute cafes. I do like, going to read my book sometimes. I wanted to paint somewhere where I would want to be. So that's why I kind of put in that sort of cafe/bar background, because that's where I would have wanted to be. In terms of the clothes, I like bright colored clothes, so I thought, my future self, I want her to be looking like this. And then yeah, slowly together, it's all just kind of like come about into this. I feel like it's quite hard to like explain how I got here. It just happens. I know it sounds so cliche, but it just did.
Remind me, did you say it's got a title, the piece?
Yes, it's going to be called Blessed.
Oh, Blessed, yeah. Great. Thank you, Sharon. I'm just going to come over to you now, Diane, to talk to you a little bit about the work that you created for the prize. I don't know if you've got it there or if you might see it on. Oh, great.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you can see it properly because I've got a bit of a shine.
Yeah, that's fab. If you just maybe tilt it slightly. Yeah, that's great.
Okay, so mine, as I said, I'm a children's picture book illustrator. And for me, I drew on like the brief, because I'm used to using briefs in terms of my artwork. And among the things that Sunny sent over, she sent some words. So what I did was I popped them, I don't know if you can see, popped them on there, and I read the brief and I just wrote out words that came into my mind regarding, how I might approach it. And she'd put, the artist should really draw on histories, things that traditions that are close to them. And so I'd written a few things that that might be for me. And the first thing that came into my head was the large Notting Hill festival that the West Indian community created in way back in the 60s, or probably even further. And I thought I'd sort of put that as a basis, because within the Caribbean community, music is quite large and food is quite large. So I thought I can do the music one a bit better. So the girl that is in here has got she's got a large, it's like a large headpiece that you see the ladies wearing at Notting Hill. And then I thought, okay, we've got this. How can I make it more specific to the Jhalak and what the Jhalak's trying to achieve? And the word glimpse was there, and I sort of honed on that. I thought, this child will be looking into the future to see where she's going, and the pen and the book indicates her thought processes, probably writing a book, writing an essay, and that's how the idea sort of came about. And so I'm quite happy that I got to sort of encapsulate in one image. And as Sonny will tell you, probably it wasn't my very first image that I'd sent her to say, okay, and I went back to it and I thought, okay, we need to be more specific, give it more of a oomph and more meaning. And so I came up with this particular one.
And what's the material that you've worked with?
So I use computer for my art. So I'll draw the image or the images in a sketchbook sometimes, and then from that I'll scan it into the computer, or as I'm using a tablet now, I'll just take a photo and upload it, and then I'll play around with it once I've got the sections in, and then I sometimes I completely just do it via the computer. Other times I'll add watercolor bits and use crayons, but for this piece I use mainly pencil and computer generated.
Oh, lovely. I really want to win both prizes now. I mean, I'm not an entrant, but they're so beautiful. They really encapsulate what the Jhalak Prize is all about, which is inclusion, celebration of voices. So just before we wrap up, I just want to ask one quick question of both of you. Is what's next for you? Sharon, I'll come to you first. What's next?
To be honest, I said that 2023 will be my year of healing. So because of that, I'm trying to work on myself on the inside, and normally that's what helps me produce the best art. If I say I'm going to do this and that, it won't be produced at the best quality. So focusing on myself, and hopefully from then I'm able to create more beautiful pieces for everyone to enjoy.
Lovely. Thank you, Sharon. And Diane, how about you? Have you got anything coming up?
I have quite a few books coming out this year, and I hope to do quite a few more, and some of them are quite interesting authors. So my advice is just keep an eye out, and a few interesting people up my sleeve.
Great. Well, both of your profiles are featured on the Jhalak website, so people can check you out there and follow your work. Thank you both so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.